Hi there, Fenisia. Welcome to your first essay correction. Sorry it's taken so long to get it to you. We've had quite some problems with the inbox. Lots of the messages have become confused and jumbled together. But we've now moved over onto a new platform and all of the issues should be resolved. My name's Andrew, by the way. I work here at IELTSpodcast.com with Ben and the others. I'll be correcting your essays each and every time that you send them in. And what I'll be doing is reading through them and ensuring that your language is accurate and precise. These are things that are required in academic writing. That we are honest, we tell the truth, we are accurate, precise, and that we don't have any unnecessary information in there. That everything is to the point and well explained. In academic essays, the entire idea is to take existing thought and contribute our own thought to it. So we need a lot of existing thought and a little bit of our own thought. People need to be able to see our thought process. They need to be able to see our argument coming together. So the smoothness and the progression of the essay is absolutely imperative. So first of all, I think the word you're looking for is contentious. Contagious refers to a disease that can be caught. So if something is contagious, it can be transmitted. But it specifically refers to disease. So I'm sure that's not what we're talking about here. So the issue of income is contentious. Don't say issue again, because it's repetition. We try very, very hard not to repeat ourselves. We use a variety of words. And that's why it's important when we first read the question to assess what the topic-specific vocabulary is going to be and all the different ways in which we can use it so that we can be sure when we write the essay that we won't repeat ourselves. Also, the word plenty is not really very academic because it's not very precise. It doesn't tell us how many. We don't use words like plenty or a lot. We make sure we express a more precise quantity than that. I would say the majority of people work for more than 8 hours a day, but earn a relatively small quantity or amount of money. I would not have this. A furthermore statement is for expansion, is for delving further into a topic, and that's for body paragraphs. We delve into topics in body paragraphs, we highlight the issue and give our opinion in the intro. So in the intro as well, try to mention the two ideas that you will be discussing. I would say maybe taking examples from... I would say this essay will discuss both sides of the argument from the perspectives of popular soccer ball players and a WHO study to demonstrate the points and support arguments. But again, this essay will discuss both sides of the arguments and demonstrate point and support arguments. We're going to be repeating ourselves. Even if we don't use the same words, we're saying the same thing. So again, let's not say the same thing twice. On the one hand, there are many soccer players, so we don't need to say it's football or soccer. I would use the term professional football players because we want to communicate the idea that these people are paid to do what they do. Professional football players. There are a myriad of professional sports players, professional sportsmen, professional football players who experience popularity internationally. This is because most of the people are not only interested in their performance in the field, but also their private life. For example, Cristiano Ronaldo, the most talented football player, or I would say, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo, widely renowned as the most talented football player. Because if you just say the most talented football player, that's just you saying it. But remember, we are adding our thoughts to the thoughts of others. So we want to tell people where this fact comes from. Where did you get this? If you make a statement in an essay, always think, have I shown them where I know this from? Because if you don't, it looks like opinion. And this is not an opinion piece, this is an academic essay. We give our opinion as part of it, but our opinion does not proliferate. It is not the majority of the piece. The majority of the piece is fact, with a little bit of additional thought thrown in. Widely renowned as the most talented footballer, has earned $14 million in 2016 alone. We try to stay away from the word just as well in academic essays. It's not quite fitting. In 2016 alone would do the same thing. Also, which currency is this? Is this US dollars, Australian dollars, Canadian dollars, Hong Kong dollars? There are a myriad of dollars in the world. We need to know which one it is. So I would say, widely renowned as the most talented football player, has earned $14 million US in 2016 alone. Not only from his sporting career, but from advertising, but from additional advertising and sponsorships. Therefore, many professional sports people can also have the opportunity. Stay away from the word get. Not quite precise enough. Many sports professionals I would say many more sports professionals can have the opportunity to earn more by commercializing their success. On the other hand, perhaps the most forgotten people in a particular job is probably teachers. So again, perhaps the most forgotten is probably teachers. So where did you get that? How is that fact? You've made a statement of fact. Now I expect you to support it. So the introductory sentence of a paragraph is supposed to be much more general. We don't need to state fact in it. We only need to open the idea. So we need to mention the fact that teachers are... Actually, we could restructure this entire sentence and say, when comparing the careers of professional sports people with those in more important positions, such as teachers, we can see that the salaries of our nation's educators are very low, or considerably lower. For instance, in Southeast Asia, recent WHO studies showed that 27.4% of elementary school teachers had earned only $1,200 per year. In addition, 11% of them, you don't need to say out of them, 11% of those teachers had never received their income on time. As a consequence, most of them are still suffering with economic instability. Stability is good, instability is bad. Maybe expand this as well. What does that mean? You could say it hardly seems fair that such an integral role should be paid so little when compared with a role of such frivolity. So frivolity is like, it doesn't really have much actual practical use, it's just kind of fun. Something that's frivolous has no real meaning, it's just enjoyable. To conclude, while spending huge incentives for athletes, while incentivizing athletes, I don't know how many governments are involved in incentivizing athletes, but while incentivizing athletes is a very popular choice, there are other occupations more deserving and it is a matter of justice to rectify this situation. To rectify, to correct, to rectify. For this reason, I believe that it is unfair to give more recognition. You would say acknowledgement, but I would use recognition instead. Acknowledgement or recognition is good. So let's have a look at this one. So we have the idea that stuff is better than reading. What's better than reading? Why is it better than reading? What does reading achieve? What do the other things achieve? Why is it better? So let's explore. Every time we read a question, let's explore it, come up with what we believe about it, what our ideas are regarding it, and then more importantly, how we are going to get those across. So playing with children is the same as playing together with children. So that's just an extra word. So playing with children has numerous benefits. The benefits are not for adults. We're talking about benefits to children, not to adults. So playing with children has numerous benefits, namely increasing imagination and other skills over reading alone. There are many activities that you don't need to say this one either, because we already know we're talking about children. There are many activities that could exercise brains, or their brains, or children's brains. As well, what does thinking outside of the box mean in this sense? It's an ambiguous term, isn't it? To think outside of the box, it really just means think differently, think more abstractly. But we need to be specific and precise. No ambiguous language whatsoever. Children prefer to use imagination, or rather, you could even say, although adults prefer logic, children naturally tend to use imagination. This essay will discuss the issue with examples, or citing examples from Lego and sporting activities to demonstrate points and support arguments. We don't need this ing here. So these are word form errors. To support arguments and supporting arguments are two very different things, and they are differentiated simply by these three letters here, the ing. So if we make a word form error, it affects our score in grammatical range and accuracy and lexical resource, because the conjugation and the word form is incorrect. And in order to get from a level 7 to a level 8, you have to reduce word form errors and grammar errors to almost none. In level 7 you are allowed some errors, but the majority of your work has to be error-free. For level 8, that you must have almost no errors. So that's what we're trying to achieve here. Firstly, a popular game, you could just say here, replace this with a. A popular game that has long been the favourite for children and adults alike is Lego. This is because making creatures, the assembly of, what shall we say? The assembly of models, or the assembly of models using Lego. The assembly of Lego models requires the players to use their imagination and curiosity in order to complete it. A recent study by Harvard showed that children are playing Lego games. That children who play Lego by themselves can increase their imagination by up to 20%. I would like to know how this is a quantifier of imagination. How have you measured imagination? How do you know it's increased by 20%? What was the initial value? All I'm suggesting here is that your examples and arguments should be factual. And if you find yourself making up statistics to support your arguments, then that's not academic. I know that this is a test of English language, but it is also, the whole point of IELTS, the entire point of IELTS, is to ensure that you can survive in an English-speaking environment. And a portion of surviving in an English-speaking environment is producing academic work. So we're not here trying to just pass the exam. We're here trying to produce academic work. We want to make sure that we can express our academic ideas in a credible manner so that when we get to this university or this job, that we can do so we can do it easily. So what I would suggest, because I would suggest rethinking your body paragraph slightly using the suggestions that I've made so far. I mean, you've got the structure correct. I can tell that you're introducing the idea, that you're expanding it, that you're supporting it, and then you're explaining it, which is great. That's exactly what you should be doing. But we just need to get to a point over the next 4 corrections where your ideas are expressed clearly and academically. So reduce the ambiguous words that we use and the non-academic words, things like just, get, things that don't carry quite enough meaning. Have a good look at your article, preposition and pronoun errors to increase your score in lexical resource and grammatical range and accuracy. Once you have firmed up your paragraphs and reduced your errors, you will quite happily be a 7.5. So let's, at the end of these 4 corrections, aim to have you at that level. That's what we are aiming for together. So I'm going to leave that there because this is getting to be quite a long video. But Fenisia, thank you for sending these in and getting them done and staying with us for so long as well. Well done. Send in your next essays as well as these ones corrected as soon as you possibly can, and we'll have them over to you shortly. Thanks again, Fenisia. Bye bye now.